Hi, my name is Sam Price. I'm a technical analyst with over 10 years of experience in the charts. I've also started buying and selling stocks 20 years ago. I'm 43 years old and coming up in a month. And every single year, I see more and more in the charts, and I want to share with you. So every single Friday, about 2 years ago, I started doing this macro technical analysis video where I go over basically the Dow Jones, the S&P, gold, silver, Bitcoin, the DXY, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, and more. Total and total 3, just to kind of show you what's happening in the bigger scale, how gold, silver, and the NASDAQ are all correlated or uncorrelated, and kind of see what's happening in the markets without getting caught up in the smaller time frame. So let's jump on in. Let's take a look at Bitcoin first. That's the first asset I like to look at when we start this journey. So the first thing we're looking at is BTC. And, Bitcoin has come to a monthly previous support as resistance area and broke through it. You can see right there at about 71,300 was the last previous resistance, which you thought Bitcoin monthly should bounce, but it did not. It went right through that area, telling us the next real zone of support was about 61, 60,000. We wicked to it, but for us to reverse, every time we've reversed, the monthly candle has to close a green candle next to a red one, you see? No matter what the reversal is. And so for us to reverse, we need the March candle to close green. So, I'm going to take you through this every week, and we'll go through 8 of these sessions until we get to the end of March, really. Or, I guess, maybe a little less than that, maybe 6. But the point is, we're going to find out at the end of March if this turns green, and there could be a monster reversal there to be had on the monthly chart. Let's take a look at the 2-week chart. 2-week chart still looking a little sketchy, like there could be more downside. If I had to guess right now, I just see more, sideways price action for maybe 6 to 8 weeks, another bear flag, and another move further to the downside where this bear flag breaks down. So right now, the trend's your friend, right? So you assume that the trend will continue low, flag, low, until eventually you make a higher low, you break through that, you retest, right? So I'm going to see it when it happens. But right now, we haven't done any of that, right? We actually are basically broke through this high, actually, on the 2-week chart even, too. So you go to the weekly, and we bounce off the 200 moving average. That is a chance that we could at least go sideways. But again, I could see us go sideways for 8 weeks. And there's a tool, if you hold the plus sign and hit shift and go sideways. Look, that says, 49 days, 56 days. So it could take 8 weeks, and then we could dump. To me, that's the likely scenario. What everyone wants to see and is hoping is that this is an amazing bottom, and we bottom back to the upside. Reasonings why this could possibly be the bottom is when I pull a Fibonacci, we came wicked past the 786, even to the 886, and we bounced near the weekly 200 moving average. They are very strong bottom calls for when you dump on large time frames, I'll tell you. And then the fear and greed index that I've been using for years is at 7. It was at 5 or 6. I did buy Bitcoin between 60 and 65, 66,000. I feel like it's a really good buy. Even now, I feel like it's a great buy, but I felt lower prices were even better. And maybe we do go to 47 or 46,000. There's a chance, but to me, this is a great place. And I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say and do should be taken as such. But for me and how I look at the charts, and I've been doing this for a long time, this is a great place to at least start nibbling on BTC and taking advantage of what's called the DCA, a dollar cost average, buying little bits at a time till you look back years from now and it's up way, way higher than you bought it at. And you're like, wow. That's how I became, how I got where I'm at today and was able to get out of the rat race, quit my 9 to 5, start my dream, go after what I wanted to do, start my YouTube channel, and change my life. It all started with dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and making a few smart investments at the right time, right? So it wasn't magic. It was consistency. And that's what I'm teaching you too now. Bitcoin, little by little, over time, can change your life. People don't realize that. They're looking for the quick buck, the fast move. It's really the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan that really gets you to rich and to quote, becoming wealthy. So right now, this looks sketchy. The one thing we can look at on the daily is there's a chance. So we get rid of this projection. We don't need it right now. It's bigger time frame projection, but there's a chance right now that for some way, somehow, the daily will make what's called a double bottom here. Because again, you're looking for the daily to do the same thing, a green candle next to a red one. We got that. Can this turn into a W? Right? And if it is, this is the measured move. And look, you got a gap in the VRVP here, so it suggests you would come right up to this area here, right? And it looks like you get a move up to 78,000. From there, we'll see. And what will happen is the 1 hour will break through the 200 moving average, right? So tonight we're seeing if the 1 hour can get above the 200. If we can consolidate, make a move, then we'll get above the 4 hour or at least pump up to the 4-hour 200, and then we'll go from there. But that's the first step I need to see this week, right, for us to kind of get our bigger move to the upside. And if we get that, there's a chance, yeah, we do start reversing. But it's got to, the daily has to show me that, all right? That's what we're looking for. Then I move to total, which is the entire market cap of all of cryptocurrency, right? It just shows you kind of how much altcoins are down compared to Bitcoin compared to all coins, and it gives you an idea. Now, Bitcoin dominance is pretty high, so this is going to look basically just like Bitcoin in a way with maybe a couple nuances, right? The idea is it bounced off the weekly 200 moving average, possible. But again, to me, you just assume that you're in a downtrend. This is going to make some type of bear flag and eventually could end up lower, right? This is what you have to assume is going to happen unless we can get above the 4-hour 200, the daily, you know what I mean, and start to get a reversal. So to me, same idea, same thing. Then you zoom on into the daily and you're looking to see if this can be a cup and handle, a double bottom, and if it can play out to the upside. Again, you know, as you can clearly see, whatever Bitcoin does, the whole market's going to do. You know, to me, it looks like a bear flag that's going to break down lower, but there's a chance. And so I'm taking it day by day. Watch my channel, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., Monday through Friday. Saturday mornings at like 8 p.m., Sunday mornings, at 8 a.m., Sunday at 8 a.m., and then Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. too. So I don't take days off. If I see it, I'm going to see it. If we get a move above a 200 or something, my channel will be the first one to usually broadcast it out, show you what I'm doing and how I'm tackling the market. So jump on in. Don't be scared. Let's take a look at Total 3, which is the entire market cap of all the altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right. And when you look at this puppy, you could see same exact scenario. Like, we're going to delete everything again because I've been doing work from the last week, right? And I look at it on the monthly. This one has a little bit of more supportive resistance zones that are like a little stronger. Like, see, it has like this, you know, this idea, and it bounced. Doesn't look as bearish for whatever reason, I guess, because altcoins were way worse off for so long. But at the end of the day, like, you know, you still got this trend line down. You still got this trend line down. And it still, to me, you know, resembles a bit of a bear flag here, right? That could eventually just break down. So I see the same stuff on altcoins. They're going to follow whatever Bitcoin does. They really will, right? So if we get the double bottom for Bitcoin, sorry, I won't put that there. If we get the double bottom for Bitcoin, this will cup in hand and will break out. So what you're looking for altcoins really is to get above this $733 billion level. You get above 733 billion, then there's a chance you could retest it, go through the gap up to 833, and then we go from there. Again, it's really all based on Bitcoin. The altcoins are just going to follow Bitcoin. They're not going to go on some major tear if Bitcoin doesn't. So right now, you trade Bitcoin, you wait for it to stabilize. If you think something's worth holding for a long period of time, for me, like I like Solana, I may buy a little bit right now. I DCA into Solana. But for me, it's really Bitcoin right now. That's what I'm DCAing on. That's my focus, and then I go from there. Let's take a look at now what is called Bitcoin dominance. You just want to see how much money is flowing in and out of Bitcoin compared to the rest of the market. Usually, if we're going to get a big rally, Bitcoin dominance is going to spike. And because Bitcoin's going to get hot, it's going to, you know, start to pump, and people are going to get excited for it again. And that creates a bit of a rally for Bitcoin. However, when we take a look here, I mean, look, that's a head and shoulder pattern. And it is suggesting that, you know, what if we do get a rally and it's hot and people just decide that altcoins are a little more, they're just more beat up and they're more. So this is telling me that Bitcoin dominance may take a move down. What that also could tell me, though, is that Bitcoin may maybe move down, right? Because dominance kind of can move down. A couple reasons for dominance to go up or down, depending. You know, dominance drops when the market drops and people sell out of Bitcoin and they sell out of altcoins, and they just get out of the whole market, right? And so Bitcoin dominance drops. It also drops, though, when Bitcoin's hot, when the market's hot, and people would rather buy altcoins than Bitcoin, right? Then Bitcoin can drop the dominance. So this looks like, you know, it's a good sign for altcoins, but it also is a sign for the overall market. So what do you do now? Well, you look at Tether dominance. If Tether dominance looks like it's about to dump, that means altcoins are going to get some money, because if you're leaving Bitcoin and you're leaving Tether, where the heck are you going? You got to be going into an altcoin, right? And recently, Ethereum and Solana saw a shift in investment from some of the bigger boys. I think even, Facebook or something sold their Bitcoin for Ethereum. So there's been a bigger movement. Don't quote me for sure. I'm pretty sure, though, that's what happened. So shoulder, head, right shoulder here, that tells me there's going to be a move down on Bitcoin dominance. Let's go to Tether dominance now and see how this couples the idea. You got to look at these together. Otherwise, you don't get the right reading. So crazy to say, look at Tether dominance skyrocketing. So people are jumping into Tether. I want to see this turn into a head and shoulder. It doesn't look like that's the case just yet. You look at the daily, and it does look like you're making a bit of a bull flag. You know, it could be a double top and dump, right? So you can see how you flip this upside down. That's Bitcoin right now, upside down. Like, they're doing the exact same thing, right? Because where's the money going? So if the money flows in, right, Tether dominance, it continues to pump. This tells me be careful. Like, we very well had a little pump, get rejected, double top, and then boom. Remember that I'm saying that's Bitcoin getting double topped, rejection, and then, you know, this looks hot right now. It looks like people are going to run into Tether and out of Bitcoin. I could be wrong, but it looks like, you know, this time next week when we're going over this stuff, it's going to look like Bitcoin took a bit of a move down. So long-term analysis is telling us to be very careful. It's saying there's a red week coming. All right. You know, back and, you know, I see kind of, I'm open-minded on Bitcoin here and there, but this kind of says something. It says something. We'd like to see, if we want to see a red candle break and have this start to drop down, but I'll be honest, it doesn't look likely because it's in momentum. It's touching the 21. It's consolidating. Whenever I've seen this type of behavior, we have continued up. I like to look at the DXY after this because it kind of couples Tether dominance. And, you know, the DXY to me is just dropping over time. It's attempting to get some strength, but they're printing too much money on a general basis every single day. They print money. They keep printing money. Right, and then the people have access to it at the beginning, and then they lower the value, and then they give it to you and me when it's basically been stepped on already, and it's got nothing left. And so, you know, I see this trend continuing. I see lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and I see the dollar getting tight inside this descending triangle and make it a move down. You'd say, well, shouldn't that prompt Bitcoin to the upside? You would think so, but we waited so long recently. And last time the dollar was sideways, it was pumping, Bitcoin was whatever. And then the dollar dropped down, and then Bitcoin dropped with the dollar. So they can dump together. Don't think just because the dollar is going to drop that's why you really want to look at Tether dominance. Tether dominance and Bitcoin dominance, man, that is the key. That is the key to Bitcoin trading. It really gives you a lot of insight that you need to see. So that also, you know, so, but again, regardless of it all, remember, irregardless is not a word. Right? They tell you it's regardless. But regardless of it all, the DXY looks bearish to me. Okay. I like to segue into gold at this point. Okay. And if gold is going down, see, this is why there's a more obvious trade right now. Bitcoin's not as obvious anymore. It's based on risk on assets. There's quantum theory. There's people, you know, I'll tell you right now, Bitcoin will easily get ahead of quantum theory. It's not a big deal. But people think it is. So it's going to, you know what I mean? It's just like whatever the masses do, we have to deal with. I see gold, which is breaking out right now because the dollar's dropping. I see gold going on a tear right now. And to me, gold's about to head back up to about $5,500 an ounce. And again, there's whimpers of World War III all the time, and that's going to push gold up. I'm telling you right now, anytime people think there's going to be war, you see institutions, you see governments, you'll see big money flocking into gold. So that's what's happening. That's the narrative right now. It just breached this trend line. I'm long gold right now. With a stop below here, I suggest everyone is, but you do whatever makes you happy. I'm not a financial advisor. I see gold about to make a big tear. So gold looks like the trade of the week. Bitcoin, it's got mixed signals. Gold has a really strong bullish signal. And then we look at silver. Silver, to me, is also bouncing with this dollar drop. We talked about it on the stream today, and it bounced off the 786 right there. It's in the golden pocket, bounced above that. I see silver kind of making a move back up. And then getting tighter inside of this bigger, because I see it consolidating very large, kind of like this. That took from October 17th all the way to November. That's a month and a half, month and 10 days. I see a very similar thing here, January 28th all the way to like March 19th, a month and some days, you know, a month and 20 days, something like that. And then this thing starts to rally. And it's telling me that silver's going to go up too as well. So silver and gold look launched and ready. Massive run up, massive sell off. They got, you know, retails, you know, they got their retail, you know, fees and their money, and now they're ready to reposition. I could be wrong. Maybe it rolls over and dumps for more, but to me, with how they're printing money and what the DXY is doing, it looks to me like we're going to get a continuation. And there we end with the S&P and the NASDAQ. People want to know what's happening to the general markets. Well, we can see that Bitcoin's decoupled from the S&P and the NASDAQ. There's, you know, everyone says they're the same. They're not. Bitcoin dumps when they pump and vice versa. They get correlated sometimes, but not for too long, right? So I see this move here. This is what I see happening. I see a pump back to the upside, tightness, and I would long right now the S&P with stops below. today before the end of market. Like, I think it's a beautiful long on the S&P. And I'm going to tell you, I see the same thing for the NASDAQ. So I see tightness, money printing. And then again, I keep getting this catalyst, March 17th and 18th. All these assets keep telling me somewhere between the end of March and into April. Basically solidified by definitely the end of April. We're going to see a massive pump to the upside. So that's the first thing. And then I look at the NQ, the NASDAQ. Same thing on the NASDAQ. I see a move. Look, I have it here with the stop loss and everything. I see the NASDAQ, you know, again, it's a little behind the S&P for whatever reason, bigger, you know. But I see this thing breaking out. Double bottoming, positioning itself, the money print. And again, this again shows you April 6th or 7th, which is the same for gold, the same for silver. It's a crazy, like I see so many assets telling me that there's going to be a move to the upside here. You know, the weird thing about Bitcoin could be in its 4-year cycle and have to make its bear market. So it'll do its own thing regardless of this cycle we're watching, right? So that completes the live, you know, that completes this amazing Friday macro update. I get so much out of it because I see the market slowly and concisely every week. I can't wait to do this because it helps me. I hope it helps you. And we can see where really the best trades are the NASDAQ, S&P, and gold really right now. Bitcoin is like you have to take a shot and you don't know if you're going to be right or not and you have to risk it. And right. So again, DCAing into Bitcoin to me is the winner. Swing trading the NASDAQ, the S&P, and gold are to me look like the winning combination of moves for the next 30 to 40 days. But we'll see. Only time will tell. But I'll be here every single week to come back and show you what I said, and we'll see if this stuff is coming out to fruition or if it doesn't play out. If you've been watching this macro analysis video for the last few years, you'll see that it has been very accurate. It does play out very well because the TA just shows you what's likely going to happen. Everyone, if you loved what you just saw here and you want more, know I go live every single day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., and Saturday and Sunday nights at 8 p.m. I also do an impromptu stream somewhere between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m., Saturday and Sunday mornings, just to kind of keep you updated if there's something going on the weekend. I love you. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for watching. If you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, crypto is life.